1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome, welcome, come on everyone. It's a carnival party and we're gonna have some fun. Step up and try your luck out. You could win a prize. Friends to spend your time with. And Dan the man himself, of course, he's always family friendly. You don't have to fret. He's the hokiest, jokiest cowboy on the internet. Welcome, welcome, come on, take a peek. Join the party where the dad jokes aren't unique. Laughing till crying whenever he's online. He's the funniest, derpiest, corniest, punniest cowboy around. Wild West Dan.
Yay! Hi. How's it going? What's happening? Looks like Monkey Bean was first for the 22nd time today. Hey, howdy, hey, everybody. Wild West Dan here. Today's going to be a little different stream. We are going to be watching the third integrated flight test. I'm first on YouTube. Does that count? Yes. Yes, it does, Rusty Bell. Monkey Bean knows better than to try to run the first command on YouTube, though, because there's chat delay in YouTube. It's just how YouTube works. They don't immediately send chat along, so Mix It Up actually checks. I think it's every 10 seconds, every 5 seconds, something like that, to see if there are new messages. So you could be 5 to 10 seconds behind before the actually happens. It's very strange how they do it. YouTube is not meant for live chat streaming. Still. Someday, maybe. API is terrible. It's terrible. From what I understand. Anyway, we're going to be watching a rocket launch today. Hopefully. It's already gotten delayed an hour. It was supposed to be launching 10 minutes ago, which I was ready. I was just sitting, not streaming, because the problem is I don't have an awful lot to talk about with Starship. Just because I'm not real good at how it all works. Falcon 9s I could do easy. I could talk about those for hours. Twitch has been lagging behind a lot lately, people keep saying. But anyway, let's take a look real quick before I get into my power washing. Starship, so this is a very, very large rocket. It's they've tested this. So there's a booster that's on the bottom. This will land eventually. This will get caught by the launch tower, and so it's immediately ready for another ship vehicle on top. And this is the part that goes into orbit, and then we'll come back and also land eventually. But it's not a thing yet, so we'll see. Today, what they're doing is they're launching both of these. This is going to land in the ocean, and this is going to land in the ocean, but hopefully this will land in the Indian Ocean instead, after it goes mostly all the way around the Earth once. So we're doing a almost full orbit, but we'll see. Do they have any info about the thing? No. Hang on. Let's go to launches. What do we have for info here? Third flight test scheduled Thursday, March 14th. Launch window, 110-minute test window. Okay. All right. So just under 2 hours. They are. NASA and every other launch vehicle has been doing it since the spaceflight program began. but yeah, the good news is this is way less complicated and has less toxic materials than a lot of the old rockets and their boosters. Kirasu, good morning. Eventually, they do plan on catching it. They're just that's not a today thing. They need to get it to work first, and then thanks. HGB, I love your face. I think you're wonderful. That is all. Better than littering on land. Well, I mean, one of multiple of the first test booster flights. The booster is just the bottom part. Down here, not this part, did litter on land because they exploded a lot at the beginning, which was fun. Bam, random rocket lands in their sea garden. I mean, it's all right. It'll go down slowly. It's fine. Let's see. 30 minutes before liftoff. You have to watch it on X, which is super annoying and stupid. Oh, they are going to open and close the payload door. So let's see. Can we see the payload door? Let's duplicate this tab here. I know I said I was going to power wash first. No, I want this. So the payload door is on the other side. So the black side here, this is all heat tiles. Enjoy your work. I apologize that you have to do that. So that's for re-entry. But there is a payload door not pictured. I think it's about here, and it's just a slit, and it opens up, and then things will come out of it. Kind of like a Pez dispenser, they call it. But down here is all fuel tanks, so it has to be up here somewhere. New things for this is the hot staging. So this section here is basically just open vents. What those are... we have to watch it on X. We don't have a choice. So those are allowing the ship. So this is ship. This is booster. Altogether, it's Starship. They're allowing ship to fire its engines before these two separate. This is attached to the booster, not to the ship. So this will light its engines and then they'll detach. So all not full. So all the energy, I guess, will be coming out there. And the reason they do that is because if they launch, what happens is these engines will cut off before they separate these two. Otherwise, if this is not propelling itself in any way, actually, funny enough, a lot of them play Kerbal. What'll happen is this, when they detach, this will have no forward motion, and this will still have a lot of forward motion, and it'll just push it, and the thing will... So what they do is they cut off these engines, but if they do that before they light this one, then all of the fuel starts sloshing around, and it's not being pushed down to the bottom. So the goal is, it goes up, these engines fire, start coming out here, and then these engines shut off, then it separates. It's kind of like rocket science, almost exactly. Yeah. And then that goes away. So this was only added before flight test 2. Flight test 2 had the old engines. Hopefully not rock science today. The old engines were hydraulically gimbaled. So gimbaling is when the engines move so it can aim. And they've taken that out and they've made it into electronic gimbals. So that should hopefully be better. Shifting to a few more minutes. 8:10. Dang it, boats. So boats, this is a problem that we've had in the past, is people want to watch it land in the ocean. And it's bad. So every so often they have to remove the boats from the area that they could be killed at. Yeah, it's just space science. I mean, we're all in space, technically, right? Anyway, we're going to do some power washing while we wait. I'm going to move this over here so I can keep an eye on that. Yeah, I want to finish up Santa's workshop because I'm really close. Or am I? Resume. Yeah, and then we might be doing Legends after the launch. Depending on how the launch goes. Let's see. Release the mouse. I'm also trying to keep track of my space discords, see what people are talking about. It's cloudy in Boca Chica. That's unfortunate. Prop load's about to start. Good. Okay. All right. All right. So I think the only big section we have left here. Doing my best to avoid the bed today. I mean, that's fair. Nobody wants to bed. It's snowing outside. All right. So we got all this done. We got all that done. I did finally get all these presents done. These presents were way easier to do on top of Santa's sleigh. Hey, Burnt Popcorn. How are you? Sebi got those and all of the workshop things. We should look at this because I didn't actually look at any of this, but we got toys and little workbenches. Oh, look, it's a rocket. How convenient. And maybe this is Mrs. Claus's chair. You don't know. I'm sitting now. Technically, I'm not sitting. I'm actually laying down. All right, so let's get this floor here. Your body's broken. Trike ran out of battery and I wasn't paying attention. I had to pedal very heavy. Trike home. Oh gosh, that's not great. That's not what you want. Nope. No, it's not. Doing good, just chilling a bit before going off to work for the day. Well, enjoy work. I am also just chilling a bit before working for the day. Technically, my working just involves opening other windows on this same computer. But that's my work. Today's not an in the office day, which is nice. All right, stairs are done. We're 99% cleaned, y'all. We'll have to take a look in a minute and see what else is missing. Where else is not cleaned? Cleaning cars all day. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's hard to do from home. But escalators can't be broken. Feel bad now. Today's my day off. Don't feel bad. Everybody needs a day off. It's all right. We'll allow it. I'm just going to get the edges here. Then I can go back and forth a little bit easier. Boop. Okay, let's do this side over here. I keep trying to sprint. This is sprint in Minecraft. That's my keybind for sprint. It's actually my thumb button, like the back button on the mouse is what I use for sprint. I find it very convenient. But in this game, it's switched the nozzle orientation, which is also convenient. I changed it. Temporarily stairs. Sorry for the convenience. My day off was Saturday and Sunday. I had 2 days off. So, I don't know if that makes me better or not. Does that make me better? Let's go up a nozzle. Yeah, we can go up a nozzle. Nice. And actually, what we could do is we could get this extension and go up another nozzle. Get closer and a wider thing. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, hey, there's a rug there. Spoiler alert. I didn't know. You ever watch those videos where they clean the super, super gross rugs? Did I miss a section? No. It's hard to tell on the very dark rug part. It's nice to have a vehicle breakdown and still be able to bring it home. That's true. Yeah. The 9th floor has been temporarily moved to the 15th floor. Oh, entrance floor is cleaned. All right, let's get this rug done. So when I only have 3 things left, they'll pop up on the left side of the screen here as a list of these are the things that you missed, you dummy. All right, and we're not there yet. So if it wasn't for working with Sebi the other day and him telling me things, then I wouldn't actually know how to find out what's left. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary folks of all ages, it's time for some target practice. That's right. Why does this keep going up? Exclamation point target in chat. People would like a chance to figure it out. All right, so we've got Santa's chair holly decoration. All right, let's go look at Santa's chair holly decoration. This will be blinking. I assume it's over here. Oh, the holly decoration. All right, that's done. Cheer checker base. Cheer checker base. Oh. What's left on this then? When we figure out what's left on this, we'll do 3, 2, 1. Ooh, and GG, me cat cat, and Phoenix. Oh, also, hi, me cat cat. There we go. Cheer checker base is cleaned. All right, what else is left? We got decoration machine buttons. I think this is the decoration machine. And these are the buttons. All right, decoration machine buttons are good. Decoration machine papers. We have to clean the papers? This seems like a terrible idea. Okay. Decoration machine papers are clean. Exit door frame. Are you the exit door? Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, I bet there's some stuff over here that's not clean. Let's see. So we got If it's the top of this, it's going to be very, very difficult to get because I try really hard not to move the ladder. That's really a me thing more than anything else. Still just refreshing every so often just to make sure. All right. Team is go for prop load, but keeping an eye on winds. Now targeting 8:25 a.m. So that is roughly exactly 1 hour from now, minus a minute. That's where we're currently at. Nice. Door frame's done. Fireplace cover. One could call that fireplace glass if you wanted. All right, let's just a quick back and forth here. Okay, we'll do a little bit of the edges over here. We'll do a little edges over here. All right, let's see if we can get in like here a little bit. We'll do some of this. All right. So I'm hitting tab, and you see there's little lights here saying, you know, that needs to. That's behind the glass. How can I clean behind the glass? Excuse you. All right, we're going hardcore here. This is the one I use when I can't find it. There it is. Nice. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. Giant bauble tops. Giant bauble tops. Nice. Grotto presents. All right, which one's the grotto? Are these the grotto presents? Those are workshop presents. Fireplace presents. Christmas tree presents. Grotto presents. All right, what do we got? What do we got? This one right here. All right. Grotto presence. Grotto wall trims. Oh, yeah, I can see that. I can see that we could do a little bit better there. All right. Good. Good. We're getting closer, y'all. Santa's office door handle. Santa's office door handle. Space rocket taking forever. I mean, that's kind of space rockets in general. This is par for the course. Totally normal and expected. Present collection box presents. Oh, I missed one. I thought I got all these. All right, well, we're going to go down to this one again. Oh, that was easy. All right. Now I did get all of those. Processing machine input carton. Okay. Processing machine quality inspector. Oh, hi. Oh yeah, you're still definitely dirty. Yep, that's true. Can confirm. Dirty. Like, not even a little bit dirty. I can't stand up. Okay. Sleigh base. Sleigh. Gonna work on some terraforming around my homestead. Cool. All right, let's see if this is here or underneath. It's a very dirty stream. I mean, I'm trying to watch a rocket launch, Mark, but it keeps getting delayed. But they just started propellant loading. So we're making progress here. Definitely getting things going. It's almost time. Current launch estimate is just under an hour from now. Oh yeah, look, there's definitely some griminess under here. Nice. Okay. All right, what else we got? Sleigh bells. They ring. Are you listening? Okay. I'm listening. They cannot rush it. Sleigh lantern hooks. Oh, these things are a pain. I've been trying to get all the corners and edges on these things for days. Oh, all right. I got them. Oh, there's 3 of them? I mean, there's 4 of them? Oh, there's some on the back. Okay. All right. Sleigh steps. Okay. Workbench. Easel print. Is that one. Workbench mats ×2. Over here. Job complete. Nailed it. All right, still just go for prop load. Oh, look at there's two of us doing this. Nice. Nice. Well, that was fun. That was good. I enjoyed that one. Refresh. Still just go for prop load. All right. All right. That's fine. That's fine. What? What? Oh, why is there stuff on top of my pile of dad jokes? That's weird. Do you guys know how you can buy 4 suits for $1? You know how you can buy 4 suits for $1? Get a deck of cards. That's how.
Nailed it.
I did nail it. That's a good point. You bring up a good point, bot. All right, what else we got for seasonal specials? Oh, that's it. It's just the one thing. Okay. Midgar. Back to the Future. What's next on Back to the Future? Oh, the Hill Valley Clock Tower. It's only $300 though. Warhammer I don't own. Cancel. Midgar? Do I own Midgar? I own Midgar? This must have come free. Tomb Raider? That must have been free also. Do the Mars rover or something on theme? I don't think there is a Mars rover. Actually, I think there is a Mars rover. You're right. Let's do that. Go for prop load. I keep going back and forth in my space discords. Hang on, let me open up the thing. What's that thing called? What's that thing called? Put that thing back where it came from. The hammer time. All right, so today at 9, what is it? 9:25 my time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bam. Copied. Bam. All right. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. All right, cool. Cool. Bean keeps putting her head in a cotton bud box. Yep. Morning, Kim. How are you? I got an old person in there. Pfft, I was already in there. This should be like one of those things where you have to conserve your water, which I don't like when those things are. Is that Ingenuity? I love you. You're my favorite. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. I don't feel good and have physical therapy at 2 today. Then get a babysit. That's super hard when you're not feeling good. But I hope PT goes well. Hey, if we can't watch Rocket, how? I don't know how that happened. I didn't actually push any buttons just then. It's just the Mars rover. I think it's Curiosity. Looks like Curiosity. Yeah, I got it. It was definitely a hitbox issue because I was pushing into the camera arm there. Okay, first pass, I just kind of do a big thing. Not trying real hard to finish any of these things. Just get the different sides of everything and make sure that most of it's good. Then I'm going to start crawling around in the Mars dirt. Apparently I'm going to start that now. O2 levels 40% depleted. That makes me nervous. I would like my O2 levels to be less depleted, generally speaking. I like my O2 levels like I like my tea, full. I meant teacup. I almost got there. We're 76% cleaned. I bet the O2 levels in that message are based on percent finished, because that's how most of those chat bubbles on the side come across. I don't read most of them, but they're milestone based. 60% depleted, 84% cleaned. Those are definitely related. All right, cool. Now we got to start doing some nitties and gritties. Start looking at small machines and stuff here. I'm going to hiccup a little bit. Okay, a lot of this looks done. Let's start blinking things. Mast camera. All right, mast camera's clean. Sensors. Sensors clean. Tires and wheel hubs. And mystery hatch? What's a mystery hatch? I mean, I know it's a mystery. Don't answer that. Tires and wheel hubs. Tires and wheel hubs. Clamp. Tire. Okay, so this tire is definitely the problem. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary folks of all ages, we're doing the tire practice. We're doing the target practice. That's what we're doing. Hey, Mark. That was a Mark. Oh, that was a Sebby noise. Hey, Sebby. All right, which tire? It is definitely this tire. There we go. All right, mystery hatch. If I were a mystery hatch, where would I be? 3, 2, 1, let's go! Monkey meat. Oh, goodness gracious. Prop load. Prop load. All right, we got prop load. We're doing good. We're doing good. There's my tickets. Mystery hatch. Does anyone see a mystery hatch? Overslept. What's the status? Prop load. Launch in 50 minutes or so. Mystery hatch. Is mystery hatch something on the ground? Because that would actually be really funny. Yep. Somehow I knew it. Nailed it. Woohoo! Because there's a boot on it. There's a boot. You had footprints for the hint? That's true. That's true. I could have followed the footprints. I didn't. Yep. Yep. That's true. All of that is true. Whee! Do 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 do. I love the time lapses. All right. I want it to be longer, more fluid. This fountain was actually really fun too. How much will that make me? This doesn't make me any money. Oh. It'll make me $450. I might just continue this. Just gonna continue this house. So yeah, I was playing more on the couch last night on the Steam Deck. And yeah, still don't love the controller. Continue. Let's see. So I always start in the back because then the time lapse looks better later. So you know we got this super gross looking house, right? With a pristine back, at least on the lower floor. And then I like to see if there's any way that I can. There's no way I'll make this jump now. Get like up there. I'm gonna need to move the ladder, unless there's some way over here. The goal is, as much as possible, never use the ladder. I don't know why. That's just that's a me thing. That's not like you don't get credits for that or anything. I don't think. Yeah, I liked this house last time I did it. So yeah, for those who don't know, I had this game from Game Pass, thanks to Microsoft for gifting me Game Pass. But it doesn't have the progress didn't move over. I'm gonna need a ladder. See if I can do it with this first. Oh, right. You were telling me that. There it is. That's fine. At least it's not the ladder. All right, let's start with this porch down here. Also, let's go with this extension at least. First slope jump. Nailed it. Nailed it. All right. Still just prop load according to SpaceX official Twitter. Also, happy Pie Day. I would like some pie. Propellant Starship's upper stage is underway. Prop load super heavy booster is underway. Upper stage starts first. Yes. Ooh, rain. That would help. Pie. Yep. I'll probably go to the store later and get myself a nice cherry pie, because cherry pie is the best pie. Followed closely by pizza pie. You know, when the moon hits the sky. Okay, now we got the edges. Mince pie. Maybe. It's not as good as cherry pie, though. Pumpkin. Gross. No, Twitch mobile dashboard. I don't want to use you ever. Ever. And you always pop up. Never had pumpkin pie. I'm not a big fan. Hey, Kiz. Not a big fan. Pumpkin pie. Kiz and Sebi have very similar entrance sounds. But hey, your entrance sound works now, Kiz. Now that, you know, I used correct dollar signs. Carrot cake I can't get behind. Although I've recently turned around on what's the other vegetable cake that people make, which I think is weird still. Oh, all right. That was fast. Hold on a second. It's not cake. It was zucchini bread. That's what I was thinking. I'm starting to turn around on that if there's enough cinnamon in it. In case you didn't know, cinnamon is one of my favorite foods. And if you don't know, now you know. So we're killing time with the power wash in here right now, waiting on the launch. It was delayed, not unexpectedly. This is common for test rockets, but also it wasn't their fault this time. This time, because there were some boats in one of the landing areas, so we they can't really help that, but they have to move the people, and they were having some trouble with that. So the launch window is 110 minutes, starting 50 minutes ago, which means if they don't launch within 110 minutes from then, they can't launch today. That's the only time they are allowed to launch. And that's because of keep out areas for boats and no-fly zones and all sorts of things that they can't just hold indefinitely. Ocean shipping lanes need to be opened, flight paths need to be opened, that sort of thing. So that's why they're only allowed to launch in that certain time frame. So that's our hard out. And right now they're about 90 minutes behind or the original launch time. So that's the hope now, is it doesn't get pushed too much further. I don't actually know how long it's going to be up in the air. Like I said, I know a lot about what happens for Starlink launches. But this is each one of these is different now. Every test flight for Starship is a little bit different. So it's very hard to tell what to expect. So hopefully we'll find out soon once they start their broadcast, which they said they would do a half hour before. If anybody wants to watch it without me yapping over it, cheese and crackers, you'll be able to do that there. That's the only place you can watch it. Oh, and it is live.
Joining you from SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. Now it's just been 100. You can tell the crowd is already excited behind us. Now it's only been 117 days since our last Starship test. And for those of you following along, you'll know there's nothing more exciting, as you can hear, than to watch a developmental flight test.
That's absolutely right. Flight test days guarantee the maximum level of excitement, as you can hear behind us. And if it all goes well, Starship will lift off just about 30 minutes from now. We're hoping to surpass what we achieved in flight test number 2 back in November of last year. But regardless of today's outcome, the goal is to collect as much data as possible, and that'll help us get one step closer to a fully operational Starship. Now, Starship, which you see on your screen, is the latest and largest vehicle developed to date by SpaceX and in the world ever. Compared to Saturn V, the rocket that first took astronauts to the moon, Starship has more than twice the thrust, and with some upgrades that are planned for the future, it'll have 3 times the thrust.
Starship will allow us to fly the heaviest payloads ever flown, land humans on the moon again after more than a half century, and
Nope, I didn't. Dang it.
before, even to Mars. But the most important thing about Starship is that it's designed to be a fully, rapidly reusable, reliable rocket, or what we like to call the 4 Rs, and we'll talk more about those later in the webcast. But before we dive into the details of today's test, let's recap the achievements of our last integrated flight test, Flight 2. All 33 Raptor engines on the Super Heavy booster started up successfully and, for the first time, completed a full duration burn during ascent. As you can see here, we saw amazing views of each Raptor engine burning during that ascent, which is something awesome because we don't get to see that with Falcon and its Merlin engines.
Now, next, Starship executed a successful hot stage separation, powering down all but 3 of Super Heavy's Raptor engines and successfully igniting the 6 second stage Raptor engines before the vehicle separated. This is the first time this technique has been done successfully with a vehicle of this size and scale.
Following separation, the Super Heavy booster successfully performed its flip maneuver and initiated the boost back burn. However, about 30 seconds into that burn, it experienced a rapid unscheduled disassembly, or RUD. That's SpaceX speak for an exciting end to the booster's journey. The likely cause was determined to be filter blockage, where liquid oxygen is supplied to the engines. So,
problem with this, I can't pause or rewind it like
the
they can on YouTube. I hate that they're doing this on
our
X.
boosters,
So
including
stupid.
the one that's out on the pad today. Vehicle breakup occurred more than 3.5 minutes into the flight, about 90 kilometers over the Gulf of Mexico, so well away from people.
Now, on Starship, the 6 second stage Raptor engines all started successfully at separation, and everything was going normally in the ship's climb to space until about 7 minutes into the flight, when we began a planned vent of excess liquid oxygen propellant. To simulate the mass of a payload and get future-focused data, the ship was loaded with extra propellant that we needed to get rid of or vent before re-entry. Once we started venting, though, a leak developed that caused fires, which eventually cut the connection between the flight computers on the ship, and that caused the 6 Raptor engines to shut down before we had finished the full burn. That was detected as a mission rule violation by the Autonomous Flight Safety System, which triggered the flight termination system and led to vehicle breakup.
Starship's second flight test nearly completed its full duration burn. It ended at an altitude of about 150 kilometers and a velocity of 24,000 kilometers per hour, officially making it the first Starship to reach outer space. Like the booster, we've made upgrades to Starship's upper stage based on Flight 2 learnings, such as improved leak reduction, fire protection, and changing the operations to increase reliability.
Now, back at the launch site, the new water-cooled flame deflector and other pad upgrades performed as expected, so the pad required minimal post-launch rework. And that's a big reason why we are ready to fly again today. The ground support systems are designed for rapid turnaround of the launch pad between flights, and the improvements we've made ahead of Flight 3 are getting us closer to that goal. And that brings us to today's test. The test profile and the burn timeline are very similar to test number 2, with one major difference. The ship will attempt to splash down in the Indian Ocean rather than the Pacific. This puts us on a steeper trajectory than past flights and lets us test capabilities that we'll need for the future, like lighting a Raptor in space while maximizing public safety. So let's take a closer look at the flight test profile. Now, about 26 minutes from now, Super Heavy will ignite its 33 Raptor engines and lift off from Starbase. About 3 minutes into the flight, Super Heavy's booster will separate from the ship in SpaceX's second ever attempt at a hot stage separation. That means it'll light its engines while still attached to a partially lit booster. The ship's engines will then remain lit for about 6 minutes during the ascent before entering a coast phase.
Next, the booster will perform a flip maneuver and execute a boost back burn, which, if you recall, is where Flight 2 Super Heavy experienced a rapid unscheduled disassembly. We're hoping hardware upgrades made for this flight will get the booster closer to executing a landing burn in the Gulf of Mexico.
So
In the meantime, Starship will coast for about 30 minutes at altitudes between 150 and 235 kilometers, and the ship will attempt to fire a single Raptor engine for our first ever relight of a Raptor engine in space. And from there, the ship will head toward its destination, splashdown location in the Indian Ocean. Again, if we get past a successful stage separation and a full ascent burn with the upper stage, it will be at an added altitude and trajectory below orbital, meaning Starship won't have to fire its Raptor engines for a deorbit burn, and it will naturally come back into the atmosphere no matter what.
Now, meanwhile, the Super Heavy is going to attempt a landing burn before splashing down into the Gulf. And while we are going to practice a landing, we aren't planning to recover any of the hardware from Super Heavy or the ship on this flight. Now, with the exception of Falcon, this is no different from what happens with most rockets flying today that are expended or fall into the ocean after they complete their mission. Eventually, though, we will land and recover Starship boosters and ships, just as we do with Falcon 9 and Heavy boosters, where we've recovered 283 to date. Starship's rapid reusability is key as we begin missions to the moon and beyond.
Even though recovery is not planned, the telemetry and data we receive all the way to the end is what we're looking for, particularly with regard to the ship's temperatures during re-entry and how the heat shield will perform. The data that we gather today, of course, will help us continue to build a rapidly reusable Starship for the future. Now, much like our first 2 flight tests, today also still just a test. Our goal is to gather data to continue iterating and ultimately improve Starship.
That's exactly right. The primary goal for Flight 1 was to clear the pad, and we did that and got a lot of great data that helped us improve the vehicle and the pad infrastructure that you see today. The primary goal of Flight 2 was to get all the way to stage separation, which we did, and even got a little extra.
For Flight 3, we've added some ambitious tests highlighted by an attempt to transfer several tons of propellant between the tanks inside Starship itself, as well as the first ever relight of a Raptor engine in space and the opening and closing of Starship's payload door.
Show the door.
When Starship takes astronauts to the lunar surface as part of NASA's Artemis program, it will be refilled in space by a Starship tanker spacecraft before boosting itself into a lunar orbit, like you see here. Transferring a large amount of cryogenic liquid in space has never been done by anyone, ever. So we'll be looking to get data on some of the fundamental physics in play here, like managing pressures, temperatures, propellant settling, all as we prepare for eventual ship-to-ship transfers. The ability to refill Starships once in orbit will be critical for landing on the moon and is a key technology for enabling deep space exploration and ultimately flights to Mars.
Now, we're also attempting the first ever relight of a Raptor engine in space, and we'll need that capability for future in-space maneuvers and deorbit burns. It's important to note that what we'll attempt today is not a burn required for Starship to re-enter on today's test. We are intentionally flying this new steeper trajectory so we can test things like engine relights without substantially changing where we expect to splash down. And if Starship manages to make it all the way to re-entry, we will collect valuable data on the vehicle as it flies through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, or more than 5 times the speed of sound. We expect it'll look something like this animation on your screen with the heat shield tiles facing down. We'll use the Earth's atmosphere to brake the vehicle and then get us into a controllable regime as we go towards splashdown. Now, we did validate Starship's ability to fly and land at subsonic speeds during our suborbital flights several years ago. And gathering data on the aspects like heating and vehicle control while we're traveling way faster will become critical to eventually bringing
Put that into
Starships back from
perspective.
space
That's
for
like a
rapid reuse.
12-story
We'll
building.
also attempt to open and close Starship's payload door for the very first time, a capability that we'll need when Starship starts flying our next generation Starlink satellites. And there you can see an animation of what that will look like as the satellites are deployed one by one through a slot near the top of the spacecraft. So at this point in time, we are approaching T-minus 21 minutes until liftoff. Let's check in with Dan for a countdown update.
Hey, thanks, Kate. Hey, everybody. I'm Dan Hewitt. Good morning. Welcome to Starbase. I'm coming to you from the Raptor's Nest, where I'm here with some of our flight controllers, also our Pad Red team. We're just behind the Mega Bay. Those are Super Heavy boosters right behind me, getting ready for the next 4 flights after this one. So we're looking to launch a lot this year. The countdown has been pretty clean so far. We're not tracking any issues that are gating us on the hardware side and the vehicle side from that on-time liftoff at 8:25 a.m. Central Time. That's our T0 right now. We primarily shifted later as we were just working to clear the range. The other big watch item today is going to be the winds. The winds have started to pick up. We're still looking to be below our limits, but there could be a hold of T-minus 40 seconds just to make sure that the winds are acceptable before we go. We are actively loading propellant on board the vehicle. You can see by the frost lines starting to build up. Looks like we're about 80% on the ship main tanks right now and a little over 60% on the booster. Now, Starship uses liquid methane as its fuel, liquid oxygen as its oxidizer. Both of those get cooled down to cryogenic temperatures, so several hundred degrees below zero. And if you followed along with our previous 2 flight tests, the prop load timeline today looks a little bit different. Those first flight tests, it took us about 90 minutes to load all of the prop on board. But since the second flight, we made some pretty significant upgrades to make that time shorter. We added some additional fuel and LOX pumps just to increase our capacity. We expanded the number of heat exchangers and installed a dedicated fill drain line for each stage. But they were sharing one before, now they each have their own. That's just that main pathway to get the propellant to the vehicle. We're aiming for about 51 minutes for today's operation to fully load prop. We did that successfully on our wet dress rehearsal that we did recently. Eventually, though, we're trying to get that time down to about 40 minutes. Just for some context, that's about 5 minutes longer than we take on Falcon 9, but we're doing it with 10 times the amount of propellant. Now, the propellant load on ship started at about T-minus 53 minutes, booster right around T-minus 42 minutes. We are about to pause loading on the main tanks of ship, switch over to the header tanks, and then switch back to close out the main tanks. We're expecting all of the prop to be on ship at about T-minus 3 minutes 30 seconds, and then booster prop load ends at T-minus 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Now, our final countdown and startup sequence is going to be the same as Flight 2. We already tested this on this booster when we did its static fire. Looking back for Flight 1, we lit those Raptor engines on the booster and lifted off about 6 seconds later. Flight 2, we reduced that time by almost 2 seconds. That just helps reduce the stress on the ground systems, improve the efficiency of the rocket. But right now, we're just about to pass 18 minutes away from launch. Winds, again, they're still looking a little bit marginal, so we'll keep an eye on those. We're not working any other technical issues, and the range is expected to be green. If we can't make our test today, we have backup launch opportunities in the coming days. Could be 24 to 48 hours, all just depends on how far we get into the count. So check back in with everybody in just a little bit. For now, though, I'm going to send it back to Kate and Shiva.
24 minimum, it sounds like. Okay.
Thanks, Dan. The countdown is continuing to progress, so let's take a closer look at the world's most powerful launch vehicle ever developed. Starship is comprised of 2 elements, the ship, which has 6 Raptor engines, and the Super Heavy booster, which has 33 Raptor engines. Starship is capable of about twice the thrust of the Saturn
And a
V
math class
rocket,
with
and
5, Dan.
with future engine upgrades, it will actually be three times more powerful.
Now, with those future improvements, that'll allow Starship to carry somewhere between 150 and 250 metric tons to orbit, depending on the configuration. For reference, Falcon 9's heaviest
These
payload
grid
to
fins
date
don't
is just over
fold.
17 metric tons. So with Starship, we're talking about an order of magnitude greater in terms of payload capability to orbit. And that matters because the amount of mass we're able to launch per rocket is critical to creating a self-sustaining city on Mars.
In terms of size, the Super Heavy booster alone stands about 71 meters or 233 feet tall and is about the same height as a fully integrated Falcon 9. The ship stands about 50 meters or 160 feet tall. Stacked together, the booster and the ship are by far taller than the Statue of Liberty, which stands at 305 feet tall with its base. Stacked together, Starship is 396 feet, so quite a bit taller there.
Now, Starship's first stage has a diameter that's about 2.5
look at the
times
engines.
that of Falcon 9, and we've got those 33 much larger Raptor engines, this great view of the launch mount looking up at those engines, and we need them to power through the Earth's atmosphere and gravity to deliver those massive cargo and payloads up to space. Moving up the rocket, Starship is designed for vertical takeoff and landing on any hard surface, and that's as opposed to taking off and landing on a runway as aircraft do. And that's important because there are no runways on the Moon and Mars where we're going.
That's true.
The ship, which we're looking at now, features 6 Raptor engines. 3 of them are sea-level engines, 3 of them are vacuum engines. That means that those vacuum engines are optimized with a larger engine nozzle to operate in the vacuum of space and get us higher performance.
The ship is also outfitted with 4 flaps to help aerodynamically control the vehicle's attitude during atmospheric flight and enable a precision landing. The body of Starship is also wrapped in a heat shield made up of 18,000 hexagonal ceramic tiles. Those are designed to insulate the vehicle during atmospheric entry, where temperatures can be as high as 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit. One of our test objectives today is to verify how Starship systems and thermal protection system tiles perform during reentry. And in between the first and second stages is our hot stage, which is critical for our newest separation technique, which we saw in action during Flight Test 2.
Yeah, that was a pretty exciting first for our team. Hot staging had never been done before as part of a reusable space transportation system, let alone on a vehicle with the size and power of Starship. Now, at about liftoff plus 2.5 minutes, the booster shut down most of its 33 engines, leaving just 3 of them running, and then the ship simultaneously ignited all 6 of its engines. Some clamps separated, and the ship thrusted away. That was the first in-flight test of the heat shield, and we were able to gather a ton of valuable data about hot staging.
We maximize the vehicle's performance by leaving 3 first-stage engines on, so gravity can't rob us of precious velocity, or at least not as much. Hot staging also helps to ensure the ship's liquid propellants are at the bottom of the propellant tanks, which is where we need them to be in order to quickly light the ship's engines. It also reduces risk at stage separation because it creates a passive staging system so that physics will be doing the work instead of mechanical parts pushing the 2 stages away from each other. Ultimately, hot staging could increase Starship's payload to orbit capacity by 10%, which directly translates to more payload and more people to the Moon and Mars.
Now, the first stop will be the Moon, and the SpaceX team has been hard at work proving out all of the systems necessary to make that possible. Critical systems for propulsion, life support, and even the elevator that you see here, which will take crew and cargo from the Starship hatches down to the lunar surface, are currently in development. And the data that we gather from each test flight helps inform their design. Here we've got a photo of some of the mock-up suits that are used to demonstrate the range of mobility that astronauts will be expected to have. And we were using these to do human factors demonstrations and figure out the layout of the elevator. So all awesome development work for a future Moon mission.
Super cool. Now, SpaceX will perform 1 uncrewed demonstration flight before NASA's Artemis 3 mission, which will be the first human surface expedition since 1972. After those first expeditions, we'll be ready to fly more people along with everything it takes to build a moon base.
Sorry,
There's
Ender.
so much to look forward to.
Tell them I said it's okay if you're watching on
that
your
humans
phone.
are finally going back to the Moon.
You couldn't have said it better, Kate. And the moon is just the proving ground. It's just the start. When the time comes to make the leap to Mars, everything ramps up by orders of magnitude. The logistics of supporting an entire city on Mars are daunting and will require millions of pounds of cargo flown from Earth and spread out over thousands of launches.
And today's flight test is one more step toward that ultimate goal. We're currently at T minus 11 minutes, 47 seconds. Let's check in with Dan once again for a countdown update.
All right, well, countdown update is there's 11 minutes, 41 seconds. Cheers.
Hey, Kate. Still good news from down here at Starbase. We're not tracking any technical issues that are going to block us to a launch. Our T0 time still holding to 8:25 a.m. Central, so just about 11 and a half minutes from now. The real thing we're going to keep an eye on is the winds once we get there. We do have that potential hold at T minus 40 seconds where we can hang out and either let winds die down, make sure we're in the right structural limits, everything like that.
I was here too.
So don't be surprised if we do a hold at T minus 40. We've done those on previous flights, but we are not tracking any technical issues. The range is going to be green for launch, so all of that really great news. We're still loading propellant on the vehicle, on the ship.
Sebi,
We're just about done loading the header tanks, the two smaller tanks in the top. And then we'll go back to the main tanks. They're about 85%
Did
full.
11 land?
And then booster, both fuel and LOX over 80%.
11 exploded.
So looking good there. The launch pad itself is getting ready for liftoff. We commanded the booster hold downs open already about 20 minutes ago or so. And then that just means that once that rocket has sufficient thrust to overcome its weight, your thrust to weight ratio goes over 1, it's going to lift off. We don't have a command to actually release the hold downs once it starts up. Just also a reminder, actual liftoff happens a few seconds after you see those engines ignite. So you'll see fire, and then a few seconds before Starship really starts to take to the skies. Our range team just going to keep on making sure land, sea, air all clear as we really count down. But that's the latest. We're just coming up on 10 minutes before launch. Everything looking good for Starship's third test flight. I'll toss it back to you guys in Hawthorne.
Great, thanks, Dan. Now, if you've been following SpaceX over the years, you've no doubt heard us talk about our goal of full and rapid reusability. Nearly all of the Falcon boosters flown last year and this year have been reused, or as we like to say, flight proven.
We've landed Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy boosters 283 times since first doing so in 2015. And with Starship, our mission is to take reusability even further by reflying both stages with little downtime between flights. And we plan to fly as often as possible. As we mentioned earlier, rapid and complete reusability is critical to enabling routine spaceflight. The team at Starbase has been hard at work developing and manufacturing the hardware that will ultimately take humans back and forth to the moon and Mars.
Now, even though we are not recovering Starship today, test flights like these provide the critical data that we need through every phase of flight. And that data informs future missions and gets us to that future where Starships are being recovered and rapidly reflown.
Our teams are also working on the ground systems that will support rapid reusability. When we start recovering Starship boosters, we'll want them to return to the launch site for a quicker turnaround, as you can see here depicted in this animation on your screen. This is when the tower reveals its dual purpose. After launch, the arms or the chopsticks on the tower will help guide the booster into position to ensure a soft landing. Now, if you're thinking that this sounds hard or even impossible to do, well, that's the inspiration for naming them chopsticks. Some of you might recall a little film called The Karate Kid, where Mr. Miyagi famously taught the main character, Daniel, that if he could catch a fly with chopsticks, he could accomplish anything.
Now, today we do have 4 ships and 4 Super Heavy boosters built, with more coming off the production line as our Star Factory continues to grow. These vehicles are slated for future flight tests just like today's, and in fact, just this week we static fired our next ship that's planning to fly and expect to test the booster as soon as the launch mount is free from today's flight test.
Now, as a reminder, today is still just a test. While we really hope to get our splashdown location in the Indian Ocean, but any data received will help us improve. It's the third of many future flight tests for Starship before it becomes fully operational.
And that's the goal of flight tests. They teach us about the limits of our design and improve our understanding of the vehicle, and ultimately help us make Starship more reliable and rapidly reusable. So whatever the outcome and however far we get, we can promise excitement. And things look like they are moving fast at Starbase, and that's exactly how we like it.
Yeah,
Rapid
exactly.
iteration is a key of SpaceX.
Yeah, we've done it with all of our major innovative advancements, including Falcon, Dragon, and Starlink. We believe that if you're not failing, you're not learning and improving the design.
Yeah, many
All
of the
the
innovations
frost.
that we've developed have come from our failures, and they teach us how to avoid the perils of spaceflight. It's a tough
Heat tiles
business.
work, or
But
do
all of this testing,
thermal
all of
tiles
the
work?
iterative design allows us to make the design better and better to do some of the great accomplishments with reflight that we've had so far.
Exactly. One of the examples that we love to talk about is the Dragon capsule, like the one located behind Shiva and I here on the mezzanine. Originally, it was
They were listening.
not designed to be reusable. We wanted to prove the initial design, and then when we brought Dragon 2 online, we had to do a lot of corrosion analysis based on flights that had splashed down and
I'm not
analysis
leaving.
on hardware received there.
Technically, I can
And
watch
now
it on my
our
phone.
Dragons are reusable and also rapidly at a much rapid pace than they used to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, great learnings from our original Dragon to our new crew and cargo vehicles have directly improved the operations, and they've helped us
right back.
change our understanding of what's possible when it comes to rocket and spacecraft reusability. Now, we're just under T-minus 6 minutes, so I think it's another good time to check in with Dan for the rest of terminal count. How are we looking, Dan?
Thanks, Shiva. We're looking good. 5 minutes, 35 seconds, and we're counting down. We are just about at closing the prop load sequences on booster and ship. Just a reminder, ship we're going to close out at around 3 minutes and 30 seconds, booster at about 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Once all of that prop is loaded on board, we'll have about 10 million pounds of propellant on both stages of Starship. Now, after that happens, we'll go through a couple of different procedures with the ground. We'll do what's called pushbacks, clearing out the lines between our prop farm and the vehicles themselves before we get to launch. And then in the next few minutes, we'll get the final guidance system alignments, some final thrust vector control on the booster checks, and all that will be performed. And again, if we need to hold, we have a hold gate built in at T-minus 40 seconds where we can hang out. It sounds like today we'll have about 15 minutes to hold at T-minus 40 if we need to. If we hit that right now, it looks like the most likely reason would be winds. We're not tracking any technical issues to our T0 at 8:25, just about 4.5 minutes from now. So, I mean, everything's really looking good. The booster's almost at full frosty, so we'll see that close out in just a couple of minutes. But we're getting really close to flight, guys.
The excitement is definitely growing here in Hawthorne, SpaceX headquarters. There is a large crowd gathering. You might hear them cheering occasionally. Now, Dan mentioned a good point about the holds. We have an opportunity to today hold for a few minutes. And this is a really cool thing about Starship. And we don't have this opportunity with Falcon or Falcon Heavy. Up until the T-minus 40-second point, aborts are just holds. So anything that would trigger an abort prior to T-minus 40 seconds becomes a hold. So that's a really cool feature to allow the team to wait for final checkouts or assess prop levels, engines, avionics, vehicle pressurization. It's really helpful to ensure a liftoff.
Yeah, and that's something that is very different from Falcon. I'm sure people have watched our launches, and then we get right down past prop load and then have to scrub because of weather or scrub because of an issue on the vehicle. And we don't have the same constraints on our propellant and our system with Starship, which gives us more availability in the window. And sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes the winds dip just enough where you can launch the rocket safely. And otherwise, if you didn't have that ability to hold a few minutes, you might miss that window and then have to recycle to another day.
Yeah, exactly, which is kind of like today. Like we mentioned earlier, winds are the thing that we are watching, so good news there. So we are still continuing to progress. We're looking at liftoff in just under almost 2.5 minutes from now. Super exciting. Like we said before, there's nothing more exciting than watching a test flight for a developmental program, and that's where we're at today.
And like we talked about, we have some really ambitious goals for today's test. But really, the point of today's test is to try to get as much data as we can so we can inform the next iteration of the design of Starship, work those things into flight test number 4 and new objectives there that'll eventually get us to that glorious, rapid, reusable future that we so badly want.
Yeah, for Flight 1, we wanted to clear the pad, and we did. For Flight 2, we wanted to get through hot staging separation, and we did. So today, we want to get even further than that and collect as much data as we possibly can. So with all that being said, we're going to check back in with Dan to take us through the final 2 minutes of terminal count.
All right, we are under 2 minutes away. We have closed out the prop load on the booster and on the ship. And we're starting to hear some good news that it looks like winds are not going to hold us up, so there's a good chance we blow right through that 40-second hold. So we're about 1 minute and 20 seconds away. Just walking you through one last time, we're going to see the engines ignite about 4 seconds before we hit our T0. They're going to ignite in 3 different banks. You'll get 13 of the inners, 15 of the outers, and then the last 5 ignite just 2 minutes before T0. And then after that, the quick disconnect will retract. The engines will start to throttle up, and then we'll see liftoff about 1.5 seconds after T0. So we're under 1 minute away. Don't be shocked if we hold at 40 seconds before, but it sounds like the winds are cooperating today. And we'll be able to move right past that, not tracking any other technical issues that could hold us.
Proceeding past our QD vent gate.
Let's go. Let's go.
QD vent gate past the 40-second hold.
Go for launch.
Flight Director Ty Huntington telling the team we are go for launch. 20. So 20 seconds to go.
Can we get a go, no go in chat?
Let's listen in.
I'm supposed to say that, right?
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go. Let's go. It's going. All right. Success number 1. My God, that thing is big. Holy crap. So if you missed it earlier, they mentioned that that is, what, 40, 50 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty. And it just escaped the Earth's ground. Let's
30
go.
seconds into flight, we are feeling the rumble. We are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines ignited on the Super Heavy booster.
Booster and ship, avionics, power, and telemetry nominal. Acquisition
So
signal, corpus grid.
down here, keep an eye on this. This is how the
Continuing to
tracking
get good
camera
call outs.
totally
Our trajectory looking nominal, systems looking nominal.
is
Just amazing
all
to
of
see
the
all 33
engines.
lit up once again.
Speed, altitude's not working great. Oh, I guess it is. They're
At
just
this
doing
point, we've already
kilometers now.
passed through max Q, that maximum dynamic pressure,
They did meters that would be moving
and
faster.
passing supersonic, so we're now moving faster than the speed of sound. Getting
That's
those
annoying.
onboard views from the ship cameras.
No, it doesn't. No, it sure doesn't.
Now the next major milestone is going to be a hot staging maneuver. Again,
When?
we're going to be doing that in just about 90 seconds. To do that, we're going to shut down all but the 3 center Raptor engines on Super
That's
Heavy.
These 3 here.
That'll be our
You can't see
MECO,
it,
our
Josh. There's
most
no way. Get out of the
engines
way,
cut
Josh.
off. And then the clamps holding the 2 stages together are going to release. Starship second stage
Everything's
will
still
ignite
lit.
its engines, the RVACs first. The sea levels.
The trouble
right
was
after
last
that.
time
The
one
sea
of the
level
engines
engines
didn't
will be
relight
displayed or
on
just
the
kind of
booster.
pointed out at about a 15-degree angle. So if you look close and we get good tracking, you might be able to see those center right after. And so those 6 engines will push Starship
look at
off
how
of
much
the
fuel
booster.
it uses. That's what? Around an eighth
All right,
now?
counting down now.
remaining?
We're going to be coming up right at around the 3-minute mark on that hot
3-minute
staging
mark,
maneuver.
okay.
Again, we'll see the booster engines start to shut down. You'll see all but 3 lights go out in the
0%.
middle. And then we'll see the engines ignite on ship, pushing it away. And that will start carrying the ship into space. Booster will start to do its flip and then move into the boost back burn, setting it up for eventual splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico.
All right. Hot stage. Release. Good. Okay, so now we've got engines on this side for the second stage. Everything relit correctly for the booster.
Hot staging confirmed.
This is looking great.
Booster's now making its way back, seeing 6 engines ignited on ship.
Oh, let's go, let's go,
Kate, we got a Starship on its way to space and a booster on the way back to the Gulf.
Oh man, I need a moment to pick my jaw up from the floor because these views are just
I'm gonna cry.
Stunning. These are live views from Starship. First stage is currently performing the
Ship avionics, power and telemetry nominal.
Good there, news informing us that the second stage or the ship, everything looking good, nominal there. First stage is currently performing the boost back burn, expecting that to last about 1 minute. That boost back burn, propels the booster back towards the coast, taking it to a landing in the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. We're only using the super heavy boosters, 13 center engines from here on out. As whenever they relight, you'll be able to see that in the left bottom corner. Those are the ones that can gimbal. In other words, they move and change direction in order to change the thrust to steer the first stage back to Earth.
So they're venting.
Wow, these are just incredible views coming to us.
Oh my word.
Everything is looking good for both the first stage on the left-hand side of your screen or the super heavy booster, as well as on the right-hand side of your screen, that is Starship, or we also refer to that as the ship.
Yeah, they call the top
the
part
boost back
Starship.
burn was the
and
first
they call the
of
whole
2
thing
burns
Starship.
required to return it to Earth. The next one will be the landing burn, where all 13 center engines will initially ignite and then transition into a 3-engine burn to help slow it down. Now, just as a reminder of the Stage 1 test objectives, we're looking for controlled ascent, which we have so far. Stage separation, which, gorgeous, we cruised right through it, as well as...
on a nominal trajectory.
All right, later, Ender.
Good news there telling us that the path that Starship is on is good. Now, Starship's second stage is still firing its engines, and as you heard, following planned flight path, the ship objectives, we're looking for hot staging, again, cruised right through that. We're looking to demonstrate controlled ascent, as well as orbital insertion. Now, the bottom right-hand corner of the screen shows the ship engine graphics, so be sure to keep an eye on those.
Yep, Kate, like this is just a phenomenal test so far. Super Heavy is performing beautifully today. It's on its return leg of the journey. Ship continuing to burn its 6 engines, those larger circles, the Raptor vacuum engines, the inner circles, the Raptor sea level engines. We're about 30 seconds away, just under 30 seconds away from the start of the boost back burn. Excuse me, the landing burn on the booster. You can see the grid fins rotating.
Look how little
the grid fins are guiding us through the atmosphere back towards our splashdown site. Again, we're going for a for a splashdown, a soft splashdown.
So these fins are basically the things that's...
So for landing burn, we're going to expect to see the 13 center engines
change the direction of
rapidly bring down the booster's velocity, and then just the 3.
Wow, that's amazing. I love this shot. Coming down sideways is hilarious.
Let's see if that'll work.
There's nothing else there. It's just CH4. We're spinning.
We're getting a few engines.
Are we supposed to spin? No, we didn't relight them all. Uh-oh. I think we lost it.
Acquisition of signal. Let's see if we can get some other video of that.
I think we lost it.
This is a test objective today. It is still something that we're attempting to learn. And to make it that far, to demonstrate the controlled re-entry up to that point is pretty darn good. Ship continuing to look nominal with its ascent
So
burn.
we've lost telemetry. Nothing's moving here.
This burn lasting
That usually
about
means it
6
exploded.
minutes total. And we're expecting that this burn will end just after T plus 8 minutes, about a minute from now. So far, though, I mean, congrats to the team. Making it this far is farther than we've gone on Flight 2. Just wonderful views and great engine performance from the vehicles.
I'm going to be interested to hear what happens.
So far, we've hit controlled ascent. We're in the middle of that right now. We demonstrated the hot staging. Kate, as you said, cruised through that. We demonstrated controlled entry of the booster. Just dropped a little short of the engine relight, but hey, that's something we can learn for the next one.
Yeah. Now that view that we just had moments ago was a live shot of Star Command. There you see it again. This is our Mission Control Center at Starbase,
I didn't notice tiles.
where vehicle operators are standing by. Now the next milestone coming up is in less than a minute. At that point, ship will, or I'm sorry, actually it already has.
Starship engine cut off.
There we
Engines
go.
are cut off. Okay, so then they're going to try and relight them. I don't know.
As you heard there,
Are we venting fuel?
by the call out and from the crowd behind us,
Starship nominal orbit insertion.
Starship's 6 Raptor engines have successfully shut down. We heard a call out for nominal orbital insertion, which is incredible. Look at these views, Dan.
I'm just completely blown away right now. What a day. Congratulations to the entire SpaceX team. I mean, this flight pretty much just started, but we're farther than we've ever been before. We've got a Starship not just in space, but on its coast phase into space. Just to recap where we've come, and it's only been 9.5 minutes. How has it only been 9.5 minutes? We lifted off right on time at 8:25 a.m. We didn't have to hold at our gate at all. We had 33 out of 33 Raptor engines open up and light and get us through a nominal ascent. Another successful hot stage. All 6 engines on the ship propelling us into orbit. We did see what looked like a nominal boost back burn. And then we did make it all the way to the landing burn this time. Didn't light all the engines that we expected, and we did lose the booster. We'll have to go through the data to figure out exactly what happened, obviously. So be on the lookout for information about that. But wow, a ship in space. We've got a bunch of, as we said, ambitious objectives ahead of us. Over the next couple of minutes and pretty much over the next hour, where we're going to we've got the ship in space. We're now going to take advantage of this and try and learn as much as possible about some of the other systems, including that first ever Raptor relight in space. So it's just going to be incredible. So all of that still to come. The mission just started, but wow.
I think so too.
What a liftoff. What a hot
turning
stage.
around
What an amazing
so that
sight
its
to see
engines are
Starship
facing the direction
there
it's
in outer
going, so
space.
then it can slow itself down.
I can't believe we're seeing it in space. This is awesome.
Wonderful.
Now, we are going to be coasting for the next about 30 minutes or so. We'll be back around the T plus 40 minute mark. And that'll be Starship continuing to coast, hit those ambitious test objectives, and then continue on to re-entry. We're not totally sure what video that we'll get, since that normally comes to us as we overfly ground stations, and we don't have a ton of those along our trajectory. But as we have video, we'll be sure to bring that to you.
Starlink may be able to bring us additional communication paths today that will allow us to talk to Starship through re-entry with no communications blackout period. It's a possibility, but either way, we will be live for all of today's milestones. And of course, when we do have views,
Signal, Puerto Rico.
especially like the ones that we have now, which I just cannot get over. When we have views, we will be sure to bring those to you live.
Sideways.
But no views or no views, we'll see you back here at T plus 40 minutes.
Pez door is opening.
And there we just heard call of that Pez door is opening, so that's great.
They actually call it the Pez door.
One of our test objectives today is to open and close that Pez door. That's where we will deploy
I wish we could
Starlink
see
satellites
that.
from in the future.
Why don't
So
they have a
great news
camera
there that
inside
that
the
test
Pez door?
excuse me. That test objective is already underway. So Come back here, stick around till T plus 40 minutes for coverage of Starship's deorbit burn demonstration, followed by its reentry and what is sure to be an exciting splashdown.
All right, I assume they're going to put up that. So we're going to mute that, and I'm going to listen to the music on my phone, in my headphones, so that we don't get copyrighted. Look at all those people. Okay, so this is where being on Twitch, Twitter sucks, because we can't rewind and watch it again. So I have to wait for the whole thing to be over. They have some elevator music. It's playing now. But yeah, no, unfortunately, I want to watch it again. I can't watch it again until they end the broadcast and release the video onto YouTube, because Elon Musk. And I don't think there's anything I can do about it without stealing someone else's videos. Yeah, when it went through the top layer of clouds, absolutely ridiculous. Who knows, Monkey Bee, maybe. So let's see, is there anything on the SpaceX YouTube page yet? No. Yeah, so it's just a terrible experience. In the old days, we would do stuff like this, and you could just rewind it on YouTube and watch it while they were doing the coast face. But now we can't. Oh, man. Wow, okay. So we got about a half hour or so. I can rewind to my own YouTube stream. Okay. All right. That's a bit Inception-y. Let's mute the tab. Okay. You're right, Monkey Bee. That is the thing that we can absolutely do. Power washing, spacing, elevatoring. I'm going to turn my camera off because I have two of them now. What are we at? T-minus 26. All right, 26 seconds. Stream is always funny. Oh, man. Here we go, says Time Waster in chat. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. This is a replay, y'all. 5. I can't count. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Maybe I should just. I can keep my own webcam up. I can keep myself up. It's fine. Oh, jeez. Like, it tells you, yeah, it's like it hit something. Is what it looks like. Something got stuck. Oh. It hit the top of the booth. Oh, okay. It's so cool. All right, where is So here, what's going to happen is, if you watch down at the bottom, these engines are going to light on the ship. And then over here, oh, those already went off. So those already, let's go back a little bit. So you see these will all of the outer two rings will turn off like that. And then you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then immediate disconnect. And then the booster relights, and then it starts to turn around. Engine turns off, rocket farts clouds. That is correct. Yep. At least 10 records that were standing for the last 30 years. I believe it. Oh, hey, they did show. Yeah, they lost it. Dang it. So that's the inside of the Pez dispenser. Is it open all the way? Is that all the way? Is it moving? I mean, it's rotating, so you can see like the sun coming in and out. But I want to watch that reentry again. So basically the fins are what aims it. There's so much space. It's so big. The width of that thing is like the size of my house. The diameter of it is the size of my house. That is so amazing. Look at the cloud layers. So then watch the engines down here. One comes on, two come on, one goes out, another one goes out, and then they all go on really, really fast. It's pretty much what happened there. And then everything was fire for a brief moment in time. Did it look to you, Sebi, like it went into a spin also? Like a vertical spin? It hit a cloud. Yeah, that's what it was. It might have been a seagull. So the plan was, and I don't, the only rocket I have is that really big one over there. The plan is it was going to get itself vertical. So this is the booster. And then it was going to slowly get to pretty much a stop directly above the ocean. And then just cut out and fall. Just to prove that it could slow and land without hurting something that would have to be repaired. Like the ground or a pad or a launch tower. So that was originally the thing. That was the plan for the booster. Now this, I don't think they're not doing the full flip, right, Sebi? So the way ship is going to re-enter, if there were either people or cargo on it and it was coming back into Earth to be launched again, is so it's a rocket, right? It flies like this, right? What they're going to do, so say this is the front, right? Instead of coming in like this, like a plane, and landing, what they do is they actually go like this, and they put as much surface area against the atmosphere as they can. So this, basically, it's an air brake with all four fins off to the side, slowing it down, slowing it down, slowing it down, and then eventually it starts coming straight down, straight-ish, exactly like a belly flop. And then when it gets down close to ground, they do the flip maneuver and come straight down. They don't go up. I made that part up. They'll light the engines and it'll flip this way and then slowly land on a pad. This one just lands on a pad. The booster, which is the first stage, is supposed to be caught by the tower by the chopsticks. Eventually, that's not the plan for today. Today the plan is ocean for both. One of them, multiple pieces. Hopefully this one, not multiple pieces. Man, I don't think they're going to have a camera on it. I don't think they can get a camera close enough without risking the people that are on it, unless they put like a drone ship out there, but I don't think they did. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see this. But this is pretty much, it's going to slow itself down. It's going to belly flop at very high speeds right into the ocean, I think. Yeah, and if any of the tiles are missing, it's a huge problem. because heat only needs just a tiny, tiny space, cat hair, to get into the ship to actually cause damage. Oh man, this is super exciting, y'all. This went so well so far, even though it may not feel like it. Music's okay. Right. Yeah. And there's no one in it, which also makes it less of a problem. Why is it that in Marcus House's Discord, one channel keeps bringing me all the way back up and I have to scroll all the way down? That's true. Someone says took five flights before they landed the booster, and it only took 3 to do what they wanted on an integrated flight test. CO2 rocket from oxygen not included. Filled the rocket up with a gas pump and a hamster wheel, and success! Starship's flight computer is in propellant transfer demo. I don't know what that means, but that's what they just said in my ears. Not gonna lie, music's pretty good. Right? Exactly. It's not bad. Y'all can't hear it. Sorry. Also, I have to remember to unmute the stream when they come back. And we're going to miss a little bit because the phone is a little bit behind my computer. Oh yeah, also a new snapshot should be coming out today for the Minecrafts. Theoretically. Liquid oxygen, hydrogen is by pegrading, cool things down by heating it up, let alone make something cooling air until it turns to a liquid. Yeah, yep. All right, I'm going to sit down for a little bit. Propellant transfer complete state. I don't know what that means either. Oh, that's what they're doing. They're just going back and forth between propellants. Okay. So is that closed now, or is it partially? I mean, that seems like it's open. There's definitely sunlight getting through. Are they going to close it? Door close coming up soon. No idea, Monkey Bee. So I thought, did they relight the engines? Doors closing. If they just said Pez checkout complete, doors closing. Doesn't seem to be moving. I know, the light moving around. But it doesn't seem to be moving at all. Essentially, it is Monkey Bee. Engine chill has started. I'm just repeating everything they say so that you guys can hear it. It doesn't look like it's moving an inch. Oh. That looks like it moved an inch. Not in a good way, though. Hey, get back in there. You don't want to show if it fails. Come on now. Come on now. That didn't look right, though. That's for sure. You can see the ice coming off. Look at all them space mice. In the space community, all the ice flaking off like that is usually called space mice, because the conspiracy theorists like to say, "Oh, look, there was a mouse running around in there. It's clearly filmed on the Earth, and they just green screened it." Because people will disbelieve anything if they want. I don't think they'll show it again. I'm guessing. The Pez, I mean, the door. Because this thing's moving very, very fast. And they're not really in space. They're still in the atmosphere. It's just very, very thin atmosphere. So things are coming off. And there is some... is that a relight? No. Thought that was a relight for a second. So there is some air resistance still where they are. It's weird because when you talk about space, there's not like this one point where there's just no atmosphere. I mean, there is eventually, but it's just a series of less and less and less atmosphere as it keeps going and going and going. But it's, miles and miles, kilometers and kilometers worth of partial atmosphere. So even right now, it's suborbital, but even things that are orbital, it's still, some of those things are still in the atmosphere a little bit, which is why, like, for example, the International Space Station, every couple of months has to push itself away from the Earth again because it's slowly falling back down because of some air resistance and some pull of gravity still. Meh, cool. That's fair. Oopsie, I unmuted. Apparently just clicking on it will unmute it. That's good to know. Soon as we get conspiracy theorists in any of the space discords I'm in, you're just immediately banned. Jokes or not. Yeah, because that looks like a missing tile right there. Possibly there's like a chip there. That could be ice, though. Not sure about right there. That one I'm not as concerned about. That's true. I did say that the ship was spinning. It's not spinning, it's rolling. And I don't think it's a bad thing, hopefully. Yeah, so the door closing. It's a question of, so the door is on the non-heat tile side. So if it's open on reentry, it could be. I mean, it's going to cause some weird wind vortices on the backside of the ship. It will let in some of the heat. I don't know. Will it cause a rud? I don't know. It's not a pressurized cargo area, Monkey Bee. Probably. But maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about the door because it's on the other side. It may cause some sort of something with it. I want to know what this is. I think it's sunlight reflecting off of something, but I don't know what. I hate that they don't have the door here, but the door's somewhere around here, I think. Maybe here. Because I don't think... Are those... Yeah, no, they will have pressurized ones, but this isn't one of them. Those aren't orientation. Why can't I think of what they're called? The little jets. My brain is. We're gonna have an ad in 2 minutes. Stabilizers are the fins. RCS thrusters. I got it. RCS thrusters. No brakes in space, but some brakes in Twitch because it requires it. We don't have a choice. Okay, they're back.
25 a.m. Central Time. Our main objective today was to get through all of our ascent burns and collect as much data as possible, including a potential Starship entry. And we just came out of a coast phase and were treated to a number of HD views thanks to Starlink, including the PEZ door open-close test. So that was one of our test objectives today that we met. So that's awesome. It has been such a great day.
It has been a phenomenal test day. Just to see booster lifting a Starship to ascent, ship completing its ascent. just a wonderful day. Kind of to recap the objectives a little bit. Booster completed its ascent, ignited its 33 Raptor engines. We demonstrated a successful hot staging for the second time. Booster completed the boost back burn, didn't quite accomplish the landing burn, and then had a hard splashdown in the Gulf. Meanwhile, ship completely successful after the hot staging. We had a good 6-engine burn of the Raptor vacuum engines and sea level engines. And then we've commanded a number of demonstrations, including the Starlink satellite deploy demo, so the payload door, as well as a prop transfer demonstration. We do still need to do some data review on those, so as we get that data back, we'll be sure to update you on social for how those tests went. We are coming up on our next major milestones, which is an in-space relight of our Raptor engine for the first time, followed by re-entry and then landing in the Indian Ocean.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's right, guys. We should be just about 40 seconds away, 40 or 50 seconds away, if we do this relight demo. Do want to stress this is not a deorbit burn. In fact, it's actually going to function a little bit opposite of a deorbit burn. We're going to be raising our perigee with this burn, or the lowest point of our orbit. This is just to demonstrate that we can relight a Raptor engine on ship while it's gone through a coast, while it's in outer space, while it's in microgravity, all of the different complexities that come with lighting this engine again after it's already done an ascent burn, but you're now coasting through space. This is going to be really important anytime we want to do in-space maneuvers in the future, like eventual deorbit burns, any of our translunar injections that'll have Raptor engines firing back up. We may not do it. There is, all of the guidance is loaded into Starship's computer itself, so if it doesn't see the values that it needs to, we could just skip the burn. So we are waiting to find out if that's going to happen or not. If it doesn't, as we said in the beginning, we're on a pretty steep trajectory that we are coming home no matter what, regardless of doing a burn. This was done just so we can really, we're in a trajectory that's really not super susceptible to delta V changes in velocity. If we were to do a burn, we've got a pretty concise footprint in the Indian Ocean that we're going to be targeting for splashdown today. It does sound like we are skipping past the on-orbit relight demo this time. Again, we'll confirm all of this through our post-flight data review, but it did sound like we did pass through that burn.
Okay.
So now that's going to start setting us up for re-entry.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So coming up next around T plus 49 minutes is Starship re-entry. Now, this is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with spacecraft because they're re-entering the Earth's atmosphere at or around orbital velocity, about 8 kilometers per second or roughly 5 miles per second. Super fast. Now, at those speeds, the spacecraft's interaction with the atmosphere results in friction and creates a plasma field around the vehicle. That blanket of plasma distorts communication frequencies, so we're basically left with a brief communications blackout. Now, we might get some telemetry back through a connection to the Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System, also known as TDRS. But if the plasma doesn't entirely block it, that connection will be at a very slow data rate and definitely too slow for any video.
But that's why Starship and Starlink are a great partnership. Starship is so big that it will leave a wake or a hole in the plasma field as it flies through an atmosphere. You can think of a wake kind of like when you see a boat going through the ocean. It sort of leaves a trail behind it. There's some of those great views from Starlink giving us views of Starship's onboard videos. And so we're hoping
that is 100
Starlink
kilometers higher than my weather balloon
just
will
like
ever
we're
go
seeing
right
these
now.
videos now, see through that plasma field by maintaining a continuous communication lock with the satellites on orbit through the wake that Starship leaves behind. Now, this is only the second time that we're testing Starlink during re-entry. So even though we do have these great visuals now, Don't be surprised if we manage to get some signal hiccups through. We're still learning about what that wake will actually look like in practice and whether we're able to get that live, continuous, high-speed data during re-entry.
If anybody's getting dizzy, just look away for a minute. It's okay.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the really primary reasons we want to use Starlink is to just gather as much data as possible. It's been said the data is the payload on one of these flights, where we're putting this flight hardware in a real flight environment, trying to learn about it as much as possible. Re-entry is going to be a really critical phase of flight. We really want to know how the ship's going to perform, especially that heat shield, as we're going through the hypersonic re-entry. So if something were to go wrong during this re-entry, we want as many paths as possible to collect that information, that data, just to, again, just continually feed back into the Starship program to make each flight more reliable, more successful.
I don't know if it's supposed to keep doing that or not. At some point, it has to stop rolling.
Now, if Starship manages to make it all the way through re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on Starship flying through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, meaning more than 5, or at this point, will be more than 5 times the speed of sound.
So this camera is actually on one of the fins, the top fin.
HD views by the looks of it, thanks to Starlink. You can see that the flaps there on the ship might be actuating.
I hope those aren't tiles. That doesn't look like ice coming off. I don't know what that is.
Certainly some incredible visions of
like
planet
styrofoam.
Earth behind Starship. Now, we've already validated Starship's ability to fly and land at subsonic speeds. You might recall those suborbital flights from a few years ago, and we can see those flaps there.
We don't know, Monkey B.
So getting data
it's hard to tell. I don't want to assume.
Control while traveling way faster than we did before is going to be critical to eventually bringing Starships back from space for rapid reuse.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Flaps,
I can't think of what it would be.
That enables.
I mean, I guess it could be yellow ice. It could be that
and survive
it's just
the heat
got
of reentry, which, like
something
we
in
said
it.
before, we're expecting that reentry to occur around T+49 minutes. So we're getting pretty close here.
And what you're seeing here, it looks like the vehicle is sort of moving back and forth. Part of what you're also seeing is one of the cameras, this onboard view that we have, is on the end of a flap. Starship has front flaps and rear flaps in the vehicle. So we've got 4 of those. And, oh man, we can see the heating on those flaps as we're starting to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. This is where the Earth's atmosphere is doing the work to slow us down.
Now, like we said, this plasma field is, what a view. We hope to maintain these views throughout. Starship is so big that we're hoping that the plasma field doesn't entirely blanket the entire vehicle. Right now, it is not. The Starlinks
I don't think this has ever been seen live.
Yeah, the Starlinks are still communicating and still capturing the data and the video that we see here.
I don't think you're going the right way, though.
I mean, Shiva, this
you're
is
turning.
Just
You're
absolutely
90 degrees the
incredible
wrong
views.
way.
We've never seen anything like this before. This is the biggest flying object ever in space.
Absolutely, Kate. And it's important to note the ascent burn that we did was to get us to orbital velocities, even though we were on a nearly orbital trajectory.
Oh, man.
So the heating and the loads that Starship is going through right now are what it would be getting if it were recovering from an orbital mission. And just the fact that we have views through entry, this is incredible.
Yeah.
No, it's not technically fire.
This is the furthest and fastest that Starship has ever flown. And you can definitely tell by the crowd here in Hawthorne.
The heat shield tiles doing their work. We talked about it earlier. Up to 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit that those heat shield tiles are dissipating as we are re-entering.
Yeah, now this was one of the critical, or rather the key mission objectives that we were hoping to hit today. We have never, like I said before, this is the fastest and furthest that Starship has ever flown. So this is the first time that we're getting to collect this re-entry data and understand how these 18,000 hexagonal heat shield tiles are working together to protect the belly of Starship as it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. Once again, the atmosphere is doing us a big favor here by...
80 kilometers altitude.
The atmosphere is actually doing us a huge favor here by acting as a braking system for Starship as it re-enters the atmosphere.
And that's part of the reason why the flaps are so important. We're using the body of Starship and the drag from the atmosphere to slow us down from orbital speed. But you want the vehicle to remain stable. You want those heat shield tiles pointed down so they can absorb the heat of the Earth's atmosphere.
I just said that.
And so that's the purpose that they are serving during the hypersonic phase and then again during the subsonic phase.
Absolutely. So like we said, these views are being provided by a couple Starlink terminals that are positioned on Starship itself. As that plasma builds, we're hoping that we can bring these views back to you, but you can see the telemetry there on the right-hand side of your screen. If you watch closely, you can see the speed decelerating. Again, that's the friction of the atmosphere resulting in this plasma field, or excuse me, the blanket that is potentially blocking the Starlink terminals right now. So we'll bring those views back to you if we get them. But right now, for those of you that have recently joined, Starship is currently re-entering Earth's atmosphere. This is super exciting because it's the furthest and fastest that Starship has ever flown.
It's just absolutely incredible. Major test milestone, something we wanted to accomplish on Flight 2, getting to it today. So just awesome.
Now, we actually have some heat shields here. So these are what's doing all the work on Starship right now. There are 18,000 hexagonal heat shields like these. So this one that I have is flat, like this is what would be positioned on the flaps of Starship, whereas
I want to see how it connects.
Shiva has something a little different.
Yeah, the one I have would be on the curved surfaces of Starship. I'll just put it in frame here. So we've got these attached at various points around the vehicle. Like you said, Kate, 18,000 of these tiles.
A lot of rockets don't come back, Monkey B. It's really just things like the space shuttle.
That thermal load.
So and the capsules that are designed to come back. Those things have heat
really
tiles like that,
lightweight.
yes.
They sound a little different than I would have expected them to, but they are ceramic. And these are what's helping Starship survive through this period of entry. We're not sure how far we're going to make it. Again, this is the furthest that we've gotten in our test flight, but the further we fly, the more data that we can get, and that's ultimately the measure of success here, which, I mean, I think today has been a huge success given where we've gone and how much further we've gotten with both the booster and Starship itself.
And one of the beautiful things about Starlink on board the vehicle, we were getting that high-speed video. High-speed video is a very high data rate, and usually video comes after you get your telemetry. So hopefully we were able to get some wonderful data throughout the entry period, which is normally something we have to wait for until after splashdown when we get that data off the data recorders.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned before the flaps. Again,
I'm concerned.
The flaps are protected by the flat heat shields like I have. There are 4 of those positioned on Starship, 2 at the forward end or the top end, and 2 at the bottom or aft end. And they operate independently to aerodynamically control the vehicle's attitude or positioning during atmospheric flight and enable precise landing at the intended location. So today we are intending to splash down in the Indian Ocean, and we're hoping that we can make it that far, but regardless, it is an exciting end to what has been an exciting day.
Absolutely, and I mean, we've had some tests in the past. We had suborbital campaigns where we have tested out the aerodynamic flaps at subsonic speeds, so that's below the speed of sound. At hypersonic speeds, well, supersonic speeds first, so faster than the speed of sound, and then hypersonic speeds.
I know.
So that's more than 5 times the speed of sound. The equations of motion change, how the vehicle responds.
It seems like a long time now,
going
Sebby.
through that control phase where we're going from faster than the speed of sound to below the speed of sound was one of the objectives today.
Yeah. And that's actually a great point because we are expecting that entry subsonic period to occur around T+1 hour and 3.5 minutes. So we're not there yet.
All right.
We're about 10 minutes away from that point. So again, that is when Starship would be traveling slower than the speed of sound thanks to
Still
the
10 minutes away.
atmospheric braking system.
Hi, Dan.
And so right now we're still waiting to see if we're going to get data back from this ship. We might be in a bit of a blackout period right now. So still waiting to hear the status on it. But yeah, it was we got to the actual entry portion of today. We started into peak heating, which was just a really big milestone. Starship is pretty unique in the way that it re-enters, especially for something reusable. The closest parallel has been the space shuttle. When we're comparing Starship to like when we bring a Falcon 9 booster back, we're talking about 20 times the energy given the velocity that we're moving at, and all of that energy just gets converted into heat, and then we need to use those tiles to just help dissipate that heat. They're not ablative like you would see on something like Dragon, which uses an ablative in the capsule shape. So they are these tiles that are made to be reusable. So any data we're getting on the actual temperatures it was seeing during heating, all of that is just really hugely valuable. Where Starship is really unique is, and Kate and Shiva have talked about it a couple of times, is once we're through this kind of hypersonic
one of the bays.
Section and we get down to the subsonic.
No, they're far enough away.
And that's where we really learned a lot and proved that Starship's really just its basic shape could work. And we did that during the suborbital campaign. Again, if you compare it to the shuttle, which entered, it had the wings. It had a similar heat shield system, but it had wings. And then was almost flown like a glider once it re-entered and was down to those subsonic speeds. With Starship, we're not doing that. We're just coming straight down. We'll hit terminal velocity, which with Starship is around 200 miles an hour, and then we use a flip maneuver to ignite those engines, do a landing burn, and then touch down on the ground. So you don't need a runway. We're doing that, again, designed because when we go to the moon, when we go to Mars, there's not going to be a runway there for us.
This is an
so
animation.
That propulsive landing is going to be really important.
This is not live views.
This is an animation of pretty much what we were just watching on actual Starship video, which is pretty incredible. But we go through peak heating. One of the benefits of today's trajectory, actually, we got closer to what the heating profile will be on just a normal mission when you compare it to our previous flights, which were headed out to Hawaii. So we go through peak heating, and then we hit subsonic, and then Starship splashes down in the ocean. Again, we're not doing a landing burn on this flight, and we're not expecting Starship to survive the impact. We're not going to be recovering any of the hardware. For now, though, we are just still waiting to see if we're going to get some signal back. We're currently at a loss of signal with Starship. Don't know for sure what its status is, and so we're just continuing to listen in. But it was pretty incredible seeing the flaps really do their thing to maneuver the vehicle as it's moving through hypersonic.
I agree, Dan.
One of the big trade-offs between something like Shuttle and Starship is wings can be pretty heavy. And so if we can really demonstrate that Starship's controllable through that hypersonic regime when you're coming through the atmosphere, 25 times the speed of sound, you can save a whole lot of weight by not having really big wings. So super valuable to get this data, super valuable to then figure out what we're going to do on our next test flights.
Yes, it was.
Dan, you'd brought up a really interesting point, too, that for on Shuttle, you are gliding in, going back to a runway. On Starship, because we're landing vertically, we are basically coming down, and then we've seen this during the suborbital campaign. We're not going to see it today. But during the suborbital campaign, we did the flip maneuver and then light our engines for a landing burn. That's also really important for some of our other terrestrial destinations. That we don't have as much of an atmosphere on Mars. There is pretty much no atmosphere. There's some great views from our previous test campaigns of a landing burn and upright landing. But on the moon, there is no atmosphere. On Mars, the atmosphere is extremely thin, so you actually need some other sophisticated techniques that other landers have used to land there. And so this vertical landing technique is really important to landing on destinations like those, which is ultimately where we're trying to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So we hope to demonstrate that landing in future missions. That wasn't one of our objectives for today. We wanted the ship to focus on opening and closing, the first demonstration of opening and closing the PEZ door, which is where we will deploy Starlink satellites from in the future, as well as gathering data on how the heat shield tiles performed during the entry period. And so far, all of that has gone really well.
I've never officially said that it closed.
Overall, it's been pretty great, and it's great to see how those initial tests that we performed a couple years ago for those those high altitude tests allow us to see what those will look like in the future. But this piece that we're doing
Savvy,
today
what does Kate
of,
do? Do you
okay,
remember?
if we are coming back from orbital velocity and we're going through that entry period, that is the missing piece, right? We already figured out how to land once the ship gets to a certain velocity or altitude, and it's really this piece that we were trying to figure out today. How do we get Starship to survive orbital velocity atmospheric entry? And we hope to find out soon.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about rapid iteration and how we do design. Part of our philosophy is testing early and often and trying to test in a way that is as flight-like as possible. But there's only so much you can do in a chamber where you're trying to simulate the atmosphere in a laboratory. So there's nothing quite like when the heat shield tile hits the atmosphere in flight to gather that wonderful data and prove out some of the analyses and probably teach us a bunch of things that we didn't quite get right.
For sure. And obviously for those of you that have been watching along with us, those were incredible views to see of that entry period where we saw the heat generating because of friction as the belly of Starship was making contact with the Earth's atmosphere, and that resulted in some plasma. So as Dan said before, we believe that we're in a bit of a blackout period at the moment. We are expecting the vehicle, if it's still alive, we would be expecting the vehicle to be approaching subsonic or slower than the speed of sound speeds in 3.5 minutes from now. So if it's still up there in one piece, it still has a way to go. We're not there just yet. But we saw that plasma field building up around the exterior, which can blanket the entire vehicle as it does with all of our Dragon missions, and we're at a loss for telemetry at that point in time.
Yeah.
So
Dan's seen a lot of those with Dragon missions that he's supported.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we are hearing through some of the telemetry that we did. It did look like we lost Starlink and our TDRS data flow at the exact same time. Now, if both of those signals are cutting out at the exact same time, that could mean we lost the ship. It has been several minutes since we've gotten any data from Starship. We are waiting just a couple more minutes just to see if we can get any additional confirmation, but that is one data point that we're tracking, and that could indicate that we had a loss or a breakup of the ship during that re-entry. So might not make it all the way to splashdown today, but we were able to get through the early phases of re-entry, hit some of that peak heating, which was just really incredible to see a Starship coming back from space after getting all those views from space for the very first time. So we'll just keep on listening in on the loops here, see if we hear anything over the next couple of minutes. And that might bring a close to a pretty successful day so far. So again, we did lose the TDRS. That's the tracking and data relay satellite. That's the satellite system that pretty much every spacecraft.
It was definitely a run. Oh yeah, it was definitely a run.
We'll
People
use
are calling
to get
it.
data.
I think it was a run.
We were able to get some signal through that, and then we were also getting data back through Starlink.
I'm worried it's a run.
Live view here of mission control down at Starbase. So these are all the folks who are experts on the various different systems, taking a look at the live data that we did have. Probably in mission mode still, but
absolutely.
It would be so tough to stay focused with what an exciting day we've had today.
Yeah, to quote Monty Python, I'm not dead yet. We don't know, as Dan said. We did lose connection with TDRS, which is the tracking and data relay
Those monitors don't have any
system,
logos on
and
them. That's
Starlink
impressive.
at the same time. So it is a realistic possibility that we lost Starship, which honestly was always on the table. We didn't know how far it was going to get. The further we could fly and the more data we could collect was always the biggest win. And so regardless of, if we did lose the vehicle and we are not able to, make it all the way to our intended splashdown, note that we weren't intending to recover this vehicle, either vehicle, the Super Heavy booster nor the Starship. We weren't intending to recover either of them. They were both going to basically hit at terminal velocity and break up upon contact with the surface of the ocean. So we're standing by to hear whether or not We are going to be able to get telemetry readings back, but we are possibly anticipating news that we
I don't
lost
think so
Starship
either,
due to,
Sebi.
basically a double blackout from TDRS and Starship, Starship data at the same time.
But this is, it's worth mentioning, this is the first time that we have come back at these speeds
Absolutely.
in any of the test flights that we've done so far with Starship. So we are trying to prove out that the heat shield works as intended, that the controllability at those hypersonic speeds works as intended. So if we were able to get back any data on that, that means the next version, what happens on flight 4, 5, 6, is going to be better.
And we must be able to get some because we saw incredibly gorgeous high definition views of that entry period whenever it was initially starting. So we must have gotten some data
today
there.
has been otherwise a phenomenal day.
Incredible.
Liftoff on time, full ignition of all of the boosters, engines, successful hot staging, and then ship took it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. We were able to see the ship actually make it further as well as the booster. We were hoping that the booster would perform a soft water landing, but we lost it during just before it was able to ignite the landing burn. But the ship continued on. We saw all six Raptor engines on the ship
now it's too
ignite
long.
and then shut down for
Because
second
now
engine
it should
cutoff,
already be,
and,
I think they said
we
T
saw
minus
some amazing views as well.
103.
It's just been
Should have landed.
Certainly a day
Splashdown.
that I will be taking many screenshots and using them as my computer desktop background for, well, until the next Starship launch.
When we get even
When is
better
the next
views,
one? You
I'm
want to
sure.
announce it right now?
And we also hit a number of other.
How close are you to the next
test
one?
Objectives. We had a chance to at least initiate the commands for a propellant transfer demo within the vehicle. This is something that Starship's going to have to do in the future, and these sort of transfers haven't been done at this scale before, so that's a first as well. We also were able to demonstrate that the
have they said
payload
2 months?
door,
Has anyone
we got to
besides
see
Elon
that,
said 2 months?
Yeah, and so those commands were sent. Again, data review to come and make sure that everything performed as expected. But that's going to be critical to deploying payloads in the future once Starship becomes operational. So a number of test objectives hit, much more accomplished than Flight 2, and making steady progress towards a fully, rapidly reusable, reliable Starship.
Absolutely.
And hey, Kate, and hey, Shiva, we were just hearing on the loops, we are making the call now that we have lost Ship 28. So, as we were possibly expecting, we lost the data a couple of minutes ago. We haven't heard from the ship up until this point, and so the team has made the call that ship has been lost. So
that's
no
okay. We'll take it
today. But again, it's incredible to see how much further we got this time around. We had a couple of those ambitious objectives that you guys were just walking
Now we're going to wait for all the newspaper articles about SpaceX loses another one.
Outer space flying.
No, absolutely not, Monkey
for
B.
the very first
All
time.
that
So
for
that
lots
was,
and lots of data.
Just really incredible. Obviously, there's a lot.
That's how
to go
testing
through.
works.
Everyone always wants to know right off the bat what happened. Takes us a little bit of time, but I can assure you, as soon as we start finding things out, we're going to.
Pretty likely it'll fail in the next try too.
And I know everybody's going to be excited for the next one. I mean, as I pointed out at the beginning, there's 4 super heavy boosters either fully stacked or getting stacked right behind me. We've got other ships ready to go as well. So it's going to be a really busy time down here at Starbase as we look to really fly Starship as much as possible, get this vehicle ready to go for all the important things it's got to go do.
And with that, we got to say a huge congratulations to our teammates and everyone who's supported the Starship program. There's been flames and reds along the way, but third time's the charm, and we made it to space. We also a big thanks to all of our future customers for your support, and we want to give a big thanks to the people of Cameron County, Texas, for their support, as well as the Coast Guard and the Federal Aviation Administration.
Be sure to follow the SpaceX account on X for more updates from today's test flight and future Starship tests. But
that was awesome.
Before we go, we want to wish SpaceX a very happy birthday. The company was founded on this day in 2002 when it basically consisted of this small team, a carpet and a mariachi band. I don't know about you, but we're feeling 22. Also, it's Pi Day.
Yeah, but I mean, Pi Day is constant and never ending, so isn't...
Why don't I have
Pi Day from now on?
I mean, that's a really good point, and I think after a test like today's, we all deserve some pie.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, man. I think it's Twitch views too many uppercase words. I have no idea. Oh, boy. All right, well. I hate watching it on Twitter. But man, what an absolute crazy launch. Is there any parts we want to watch again? I want to see, where is here? Hang on, we're going to go back here. So this is just as it starts. Sorry for the double face on top here. You can see the heating up. Starts to turn red. So, Ender, the booster made it most of the way down. Did you see any of that? Hold on, we'll go back. We're going to do this. We're going to do this a couple times. Sorry, Monkey Bee. Nope. Back here. So if you watch this back, right, you'll see we're doing good. We're doing good. It looks awesome. But then it gets a little shaky. And I think it started to spin. But I'm not 100% sure that I remember that right. So right here, this rotating back and forth, not great. I think it went into a spin. And then yeah. So I think that's what happened. So if you look down at the engines down here, I know they're cut off a little bit, but you'll see we get 1, 2, 3. We lose 1. We lose another 1, and we're just down to the 1, and then it's gone. So, now there's 3. Oh, I'm watching the thing back again in the part that I already watched. It's all right. This is the booster. Could have played sooner. Hold on, Monkey Bee. This is important. But then as far as the ship went, this got super, super neat. I was going to say super cool, but that would be misinformation. You can actually watch the back fin. So the camera's on the front fin, right? And you can see everything heating up. But even this, I don't know. This seems weird to me that it feels like as it's going through, it's like it's still rotating a little bit. I feel like it's more than it should be, but I don't know. Like here, it feels like it's, instead of coming this way, it feels like it's like going this way, and like it's not oriented right. But maybe that's normal for the beginning of re-entry. I don't know. Here it feels like it's going down instead of, the right. I don't know. It seems wrong. We don't know. But then here it seems normal. So then I think it straightened itself out, and then we can't see anything anymore. Yeah, I think that's what it is, Sebi. I thought it would be faster in my own head, and I think it's just not true. Oh, and Rocket Lab's doing something right now? Oh, mission recap. Okay. That's right. Sierra Space is talking about the first commercial the space station design right now. That's crazy. Now I'm getting distracted by work. But anyway, and then we lost it, and we lost telemetry. So they have declared that it's lost, but they don't know exactly when. Still moving here. I'm in the wrong window. Boop. 71, 70, 69, 70, 67, and then here they seem to have lost everything. Where? Yeah, they said they lost video and telemetry at the same time, but we don't actually see them lose video. So, but that's expected through re-entry, as Sebi was telling us regularly, which I appreciate. That losing signal is normal during re-entry, but then it never came back. So eventually, they finally had to call it. So that's where we're at. Oh man, that was a ton of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. I need a break for a few minutes, Monkey Beat. But then we'll be back, and then we'll be doing something, Legends or something. We shall see. Monkey Bee really wants to play Legends. It depends on how much of the things, how much of the beginning parts I have to go through again. I don't remember how to play the game. We'll see. We'll be back. I'm gonna do a BRB. Have some words on stream. This might be a slightly longer one because I need to get up and move. Man, that was fun. Thanks everybody for joining for that. We'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome, welcome, come on everyone. It's a carnival party and we're gonna have some fun. Step up and try your luck out. You could win a prize. Friends to spend your time with. And Dan the man himself, of course, he's always family friendly. You don't have to fret. He's the hokiest, jokiest cowboy on the internet. Welcome, welcome, come on, take a peek. Join the party where the dad jokes aren't unique. Laughing till crying whenever he's online. He's the funniest, derpiest, corniest, punniest cowboy around. Wild West Dan.
I'm at least 40% sure that my wife's on the call. It did. So you rolled a 5. And we rolled a 2. See? Right here. Boom. Your legends or my legends? Exclamation point target, y'all. Yeah, we'll probably do this. 3, 2, 1, let's go. What do we got? What do we got? Just Sebby. Meekat Cat in the cursed number 2 spot. Along with everyone else, because that's how curses work. Alright. We're gonna do some stuff. Hello. You hate this game.
Hang on, just sorting stuff out. Ooh, turn this back up.
How about?
Roller. Campaign. Continue. And then, how do I... this one? There we go. I'm fine. Same.
Alright. Monkey invited me to do things. How do I accept? I accept.
Yeah. This is at the very start of the story because my save data didn't move over.
Okay. Are we gonna win?
Can do, hopefully.
I don't remember. I don't remember how to play.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a Fable difficulty.
I love, Sebby, I don't know if you're still here, but people in the other Discord in Marcus' houses, they're like, obviously the engines weren't in good shape, or they had a fuel leak. It's like people they just want to be the first to say what it was. I'm like, we don't know what it was. Could have been literally anything. It could have been a problem with the door not fully closing, which they never officially said it was fully closed. Or they had trouble with the orientation of the ship and the fuel was in the wrong place in the tanks. Yeah, that's possible. Yep. All of those things are possible.
Yeah, where are you at? You're at the main bit, aren't you?
I think so.
Can I teleport?
So the door
right now,
opened.
or-
They never 100% said that it closed, but they did say that they completed the door open and close test.
Where you at?
How do I sprint?
I'm using the controller.
Mm.
Yeah, where you at?
Oh, they're always sure. Yep. How do
I teleported you, and now you're gone.
What did I just do? How do I do things? How do I play?
Is my microphone working?
X. Yeah.
Okay. Where you gone?
I don't know.
I teleported back to the well to meet up with you, and you disappeared.
I'm trying to gather wood.
South.
Oh, I have to actually click on wood, I guess, if I'm going to gather
Oh,
wood.
there you are. I see your marker.
I don't know how to play.
I don't know how to play on my mouse and keyboard. I'm using my Xbox controller.
Oh, I have to confirm. Okay. All right, I got it. Okay. I'm gathering wood and stone.
Yeah.
And running through speedy vines.
I think I got
Why
a...
is my mouse so unsensitive?
I don't know. I think I got to destroy one of the piglin outposts last time we were playing this last night.
That's better. Hang on, none of my things are good here.
Yeah, let me know when you're ready. I'll just be setting stuff up together.
Sprint is shift. It should not be shift. Your custom bindings are not reflected in this graphic because it's that button right there. Jump, melee, move back, hotbar slot. Direct is E, lures. Okay. All right, now I can sprint again. All right. All right, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Okay, we're gonna go this way and destroy an outpost thing.
Okie dokie. We did run off in a random direction. Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody knows Sebi, but everybody wants to be the ones that know. Where's my sprint bar to tell me whether I have sprint or not?
It's a toggle. It's not a sprint bar.
I lost you. I found you.
Yeah. There you are. Llamas, help me.
I forget how to make friends.
For me, it's the X button on my controller.
It's Q for me.
Yeah.
I got llama friends.
Okay, that looks like a bad place up there. Okay. Wood guys. Oh. Stone guys.
X.
Now you just stand on top of the spawner and then there should be a button.
Yep. 2, 3, 4.
Oh, you gotta make your own? I know
No.
how to use your ones.
That's true.
Oh. Oh, confours. Okay. I think you still gotta do the Q button to make them follow you.
Oh yeah, I always hated that.
Damn.
Okay, I got some guys.
Here. Whoa! There's a lava pit.
Is it E? Hold on, how do I... Settings. I don't remember how to play. Direct is E.
I'm petting a llama.
Maybe I should have done the thing better. Direct is
You wanna go
E.
quickly do the tutorial?
Nah, it's too much work.
Okay, stone guys are bad at fighting the piglins, the wood guys are bad at beating up structures.
Oh, I can fight too. I forgot.
Yeah. Come on, break their spawners.
I think I need more guys.
Maybe. We did lose a bunch of them.
I'll be right back. I do have my llama still.
Hey.
Fix the buttons. What buttons? Come on, everybody.
Hopefully this time around I get to see the end of the game.
All right, later. Later, Ender.
4, 3, 2, 1. Later, Ender.
What buttons? What buttons are we talking
Apply the right
about?
pressure, and even the tallest tower will fall.
Now, what do we do?
Yeah, why are we playing this? I forget.
Because I never finished it. Because it kept crashing on the Switch.
Our curious creeper is back, and they brought a friend.
What do you think they'll do?
We will find out soon enough.
All right, how come we can't collect these things? Oh, because
After defeating those outposts, you've collected quite a bit of prismarine. Bring it to me at the Well of Fate, and I'll show you how to build something that will be very useful.
Oh.
You are attuned to the waters of the well. You can travel here quickly anytime you wish.
And quick travel.
Whee!
Knowledge?
Be right back.
I'm working on a little something extra to help the hero.
Is it though?
What do you think?
They are perfect.
They won't be as friendly with the piglins, I assure you that. Okay, go on now. Join your new friends. You two, little one, go on. The Mossy and Grindstone golems are excited to join you, but you'll need a special resource to build them. I've written the melody.
Need to fix that.
You just need to build the right improvements.
Okay, open
Very nice.
songbook.
This is where all the wonderful melodies you learn will be kept.
Now go ahead and turn the pages. There you go. Now choose the structure that improves your lute to play the iron melody, and the allays will build it for you. Great. Now go ahead and build your iron improvement.
With every new melody, your relationship with the allays grows.
This tune will help them mine iron for your building needs. And there you have it. Now you'll be able to collect iron in the world and spawn these new friends whenever you need them. And I'm afraid you're gonna need them soon.
We're gonna need them.
Ooh. We got 2 new melodies to place down.
It did, JC. It did. It launched. It successfully stage separated. The booster came back, and then it exploded. And then the ship coasted. They opened and closed the door, and then it exploded. Both explosions were off camera, though, unfortunately. It stage separated and then tried to almost land. It was never really gonna land. But it was gonna do the. I mean, it's okay for a test flight as long as no one's on it. Test flights that go boom are okay. Yeah, booster didn't. The engines didn't relight, and it seemed to lose control. Seemed to. That's not for sure. It's not for sure.
No, they made it nighttime.
But it's nighttime now.
But daytime.
First they poisoned the ground, and now the sky.
It got its final update, JC.
You have to find the source of this magic. Find it and stop it.
I got most. Don't have the prismarine to place it though.
All right. So what can we build, and how do I get to that screen?
We need to go get iron, I think, or small stone.
MR. R is what I'm looking for.
We're out of that green stuff.
Redstone.
Prismarine? Prismarine.
Prismarine you get by killing thingy-majiggers.
Yeah, we don't have enough prismarine to place any more upgrades.
Okay. I have 250 prism. Oh, no, I don't have. Oh, that's shared, right?
Yeah, our inventories are shared.
Okay. And iron shows up in which thing?
I don't know.
Dry savannas.
Yeah. But we gotta go south, and the dry savannas, I think, to the
I placed a
south.
marker. I'm going west a little bit.
Okay. Detour. I made it up to, I think the last of the 3 big bosses, and then I just got fed up with my Switch crashing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then rolling me back another 30 minutes. There's Meaden.
Yeah, no, they have discontinued development of the game.
Let me got it free from code. Yay!
It's possible. So I went into quiet mode when I was doing the thing. And I don't know.
Oh, I'm maxed out on Meaden.
Oh yeah, we're maxed out on iron now. Good, good, good. I need to look at how that works, apparently. Those should be working. Those should be working. No, it's a quiet mode that, so like, it disables target practice and some of the louder things. Like that.
Yeah. I've got incentive to win this month.
Why is that?
I forget. I just remember you saying I've got to win this month.
Okay.
Last night.
Alright, where are you? Are you showing up on the map?
I'm like a little blue guy or a yellow guy on the map, on the compass. Or is that only when we're close to each other? Could be when we're close to each other. Oh, you're still over at the well.
No. I'm near you. We've almost got all the wood we need. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, just JC'd in the cursed #2 spot, which is in fact not cursed. GG JC'd. Ow. Ow. Don't go that way.
Wow! Found tigers.
Come on,
You have a purple
lambs.
kitty. Big ass.
Alright, I
You can
lost
swap
you.
out to your purple kitty.
Now where are you?
I come to you.
Oh, you're over there.
I'm gonna bring a kitty. You can have your little purple kitty back.
Sweet. Pie. Jason,
Hang
I
on a
want
minute,
pie.
my mum just said. Hang on, my mum just said something.
Yeah! Run for the hills! We got a raid!
Aussie Kitten.
Hang on.
Hey, howdy, hey, Aussie Kitten. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much
I'm behind you.
for the raid. Ooh, there we are.
Hang on, I'll be right back. Mum keeps calling me.
Okay. A wild sparkle has appeared. Hey, T-Sparkle.
Howdy, partner. Thanks for
Samuel
following.
Expression, thank you for the follow. Welcome, everybody. How's it going? Thanks for coming to visit. I'm gonna go over here for a second. We are we were looking at SpaceX's Starlink launch, and then Monkey wanted to try to finish this
Howdy,
game.
partner. Thanks for following.
Cats, thanks for the follow. It's been a while since we've played Legends. I don't remember how to play. And it makes annoying noises. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Someone anonymously just donated how much? $30.
I'm Joella Newman.
Extra Life.
I'm Victoria's mom, and thank you for supporting Extra Life.
If that anonymous person would like to let me know who they are, I would appreciate it. But thank you for that donation. Let me get.
I'm back.
Let me get regular Minecraft going. Hang on, I gotta go into Minecraft for a moment.
What happened?
I got a donation.
Ooh.
Going to PAX this year? I don't actually think I am this year. I was going back and forth for a while. I don't think I'm going to make it. Was that you, person who just DM'd me? Where was I last? Where was I last? Oh, I was here. Server lobby. Maybe. All right. That's fine. All right, we're going to come over here. We're going to get into the creative modes. We're going to not getting into the creative mode. Why? Why? Something wrong with this world? Hold on. We're going to restart.
Is it permissions being permission?
Later, me cat. I'm not sure.
Hello, Nine.
Log in. Lobby. Restart. We're going to restart the server. Do tell. I don't know. Figure it out. Ooh. And then I'm going to mute for 30 seconds because I have a phone call. Hold on. All right. I can't go into creative mode on the server, and I don't know why.
Can the console put you in creative mode?
That's a good question. It would help if I can spell. Game mode. Wild West _Dan. No.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's having some troubles.
I'm gonna blame permissions.
Yeah.
Dang it, Masters.
Let's see. I should be able to still do it, though. I think. If I have a JC head here.
Just get JC to log on the server and kill him.
Let's see if I can give myself his player head. I always blame Masters. Is that right? That doesn't look right. That's not
All we
you.
can see is the face cam.
Oh yeah. That not you. Where's the J-Seed? Well, actually, J-Seed was... Do 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 do. Left. That one. But I can't do anything about it.
Ah!
Is your Minecraft name different? Oh, you a dad joke. What did the cow say to the baby cow? It's past your bedtime. You have to have an underscore.
Nailed it.
Is JC _47? Nope. JC, J underscore. Oh.
Why can't people just stick to names?
There it is. Sometimes you can't get it.
I mean, yeah, but...
Bam. Bam. Trigger, item frame, invisible. And then lock it. And then Monkey B, I hate to do this to you, but I'm gonna have to run.
Ow.
I got a telephone call that I have to go take care of, unfortunately.
But
we'll do this
today.
We'll do this next week, and I'll play the thing in the middle.
Okay.
So I remember.
Play the thing in the middle.
I'll do the tutorial again.
Okay.
in between then and now. But JC, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that, my friend. Puts us at $252. We're only $247 away from me matching the first 500. So that's the thing. I'm going to drop out of voice. Thanks, Monkey B.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Speaking of Monkey B was first today. Doing the first here. Thanks, Monkey B, for the 22nd time. Thank you. I just deleted Aussie Kitten for the raid. I'm sorry that it was a short one. I apologize. But thank you everyone here for joining in and hanging out and having fun. Hopefully you enjoyed our our Starship coverage. And everybody had a good time. I'm next to Guya. Woot. I mean, yeah. Where else would you want to be? I would like to raid our friend. There we go. Mr. Perma the Noob. Because he's amazing, and he's wonderful, and he's playing a game that is on my wish list. So, if y'all will join me to go raid the one and only Permanoob, I would appreciate that. Sorry we had to end abruptly again. It's 2 weeks in a row. But I will be back on Tuesday at whatever the times are now. What is it now? 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. GMT. Because of stupid daylight savings that's only in the U.S. so far and not yet in the U.K. I'm not sure about the other parts of the world. That's the only one I really keep track of. But we'll be back on Tuesday. And May 18th, mark your calendars. We're going to do our next 12-hour Extra Life stream. So thank you for that. And yeah, it's we're gonna go see Permanoob. And the shout out still didn't work for that. So I definitely have to look at why that didn't work. Still. Okay. That's fine. We're gonna go raid our friend Permanoob. Yeah, that's it for me. Love you all. As always, my name is
Wild West Dan.
Thanks everybody. Love you.